Okay, the mic is definitely fixed now. Thank you guys for letting me know the mic was messed up. I did not know at first. So please let me know if you guys can hear me because you should be able to now. You guys, you definitely can. Okay, so please make sure you like the video so this joint can go up because I want people to see this one. This is a very important video. This is extremely important. As you all know, the inauguration happened yesterday. I did cut off unexpectedly because I had to fix the issues that were going on. I'm sorry, D. But this is a very important video. So like this video. We have to boost this up. Okay, anyways. As you all know, the inauguration was yesterday and it was a crazy day. It was an extremely crazy day. I didn't say too much about the inauguration. I didn't say anything about what Trump said or what Biden did or said because I wanted to give it some time to soak in. I wanted to give time to research everything they're doing. And that's what I did yesterday. I researched, I didn't say anything, I watched it, and I sat there just quiet. But today I'm going to give my thoughts. One of the biggest things, or one of the most important things that Donald Trump talked about was DEI. He talked about the border. He talked about federal employees. He talked about giving money overseas. He talked about the World Health Organization. And also, Biden gave out a few pardons yesterday that went under the radar. So I'm going to give my thoughts about everything that happened. It's a lot of thoughts. And we're just going to watch everything together to see exactly what Donald Trump plans to do. And let me know if you guys support what Donald Trump's planning to do. So let's get into it.
I will also end the government policy of trying to socially engineer race and gender into every aspect of public and private life. We will forge a society that is colorblind and merit-based. As of today, it will henceforth be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female.
So what makes this topic interesting for me? What makes this topic interesting for me is the discussion regarding DEI. The reason I'm bringing this up is because in my videos, if you guys watch my videos, I've been talking about this topic for years. If you guys don't know me, I'm an electronics engineer getting a master's degree right now. So obviously I'm in college. I know the importance. I know the effect that DEI has had. I said this a year ago. I said, if the Democratic Party, if Joe Biden doesn't put more effort into not only explaining DEI, but better representing it in colleges, there will be backlash. And what is happening right now? The backlash. I said this years ago because a year ago I was an undergrad. Now I'm a graduate student. But here's the problem with this. The reason why Donald Trump is getting rid of DEI policies, the reason why conservative and the right is so adamant about getting rid of it is because they weren't implemented correctly over the past 4 or 5 years. They were racially profiling people. There were studies coming out that said the left, not the left, but minorities were getting lower SAT scores and they were still allowed or still being entered into schools at the same rate as people who were getting higher scores than them. That's why Donald Trump or the right revolted so aggressively. That's why affirmative action rulings were overturned. That's why I've been saying this. This is not something that's new. This is not something that's surprising for me. This is something that I've been saying for the longest time. But it's funny because the problem that the left had is that they weren't honest about things that they were doing, and they weren't really honest about things that were happening. And this is shown in this video right here.
Pardon, who was innocent of all crime, who's just an innocent person. Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person.
But no, it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family.
Is there an innocent explanation for someone to seek preemptive pardons for family members. Would you do that?
So if you guys don't know what's going on, while everything was happening with the inauguration and Donald Trump was talking about DEI, he was talking about overturning federal telework and remote work and all the things he was talking about, President or former President Joe Biden released pardons for his family. Why did he give them pardons? We don't know yet. I really don't understand why he gave pardons, but this is a big problem that I've been saying that was happening on the left. They weren't honest about things that they were doing for the longest time. This is why the working citizen was so against them. And this is why Donald Trump won everything. They won the House, they won the Senate, they won it all. They won it all. The dishonesty is where it came from. And I brought this up with DEI, but Biden pardoning his whole family for some strange reason on the last day of his presidency, that goes into the dishonesty. I don't know what they did. We don't know.
If you knew you were innocent and just worried about outside forces?
The answer to that is going to be no. If you haven't done anything wrong, you sit there and go, what do you need a preemptive pardon for?
If he pardons people preemptively, he's essentially telling the public that these people have committed crimes. And we may not be aware of what they are, but the pardon is clear evidence that crimes have been committed.
I imagine if he decides to issue these preemptive pardons, it will be cast in a way that he is protecting his family and protecting their reputations from, villainous exterior forces that are against him.
First off, we should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability and that of his family members that pardons are a major obsession with him.
The idea of a kind of prospective pardon, this sort of permanent federal get out of jail free card, that seems to be what we're talking about in the case of this, right? With Giuliani and his 3 eldest children who, as far as we know, have not been convicted of a crime. Maybe they've committed a...
Wait, Biden pardoned his children? I didn't know he did that. Well, obviously he pardoned his son, Hunter Biden, but does he have any younger children than that? He pardoned his wife? Like, this is... Oh my goodness. I just imagine if I was president, if I was the president, I don't have a reason to pardon my siblings or my children unless we did something that we weren't supposed to do. I don't think I've ever heard of a president doing that before. I don't want to go too hard on him. I really want to look into it, but I don't understand. I can't think of a logical reason to pardon your family unless you did something illegal. That's just my personal thoughts. I don't understand. Left or right, I don't get how you can pardon your family unless they did something. I've never heard of a president doing that before, but
a lot. And they don't want to face action. I don't know. It's weird. I wouldn't ask for a pardon. I don't think I deserve one because I don't think I've done anything criminal. But where does that come from? That concept that you can just kind of wave your magic pardon wand.
We have Tish James. We have Xavier Becerra. Mimi Roca is literally my DA in my town. There will be opportunities to prosecute these people regardless if they abuse the pardon power as they are thinking.
Hopefully, Ellie, there will be a skyfall on this entire crime family, and there will be another day for them to die.
The president does indeed pardon, let's say, Rudy Giuliani or any members of his family. Would you see that, and I asked Preet Bharara this question, as essentially an admission of guilt?
I certainly would view it that way. I think millions of Americans would view it that way.
Because how could you pardon? Here's the thing, everyone. Here's the thing. We didn't even know. No one was thinking about his family. I'll say that. No one was thinking about his family. I know I wasn't. People were more focused on the inauguration. Trump was about to get inaugurated. They're going to find out what policies Trump wants to implement. That's what people were putting their attention to. So the fact that it feels like he tried to sneak it in a little bit. He feels like he tried to slowly push this thing into existence, hoping we wouldn't notice. That's where I'm getting the vibe from. That's really where I'm getting the vibe from. But anyways, I don't want to stay too much on his pardons. I really don't understand how he was even allowed to do that. But let's focus on all of Donald Trump's executive orders.
Today, let me tell you everything I learned. First off, we're going to do a rapid fire list of the executive orders that we learned about today that Donald Trump will be implementing. He's designating cartels to be listed as foreign terrorist organizations.
So he's designating cartels to be listed as foreign terrorist organizations. I agree with that. I really do.
The people who were involved in J6, they're going to be released. The TikTok extension will be for 90 days while they try to negotiate a deal for 50% of TikTok. And he said if he doesn't get the approval for 50%, he could possibly implement tariffs on China to basically make them go into the deal. He wants to change the definition.
And the concept of TikTok has been an extremely controversial topic. But here's my thoughts on it, because I've been thinking long and hard about that, because 170 million Americans use TikTok. There are 7 million content creators or people who post on TikTok. I'll ask this question. ByteDance is not owned technically by China. However, ByteDance is stationed out of China. What American company, especially with that much influence, is stationed out of America but operates at such scale in China? The reason I'm asking this question is because China does not allow American apps and American influence to be that strong in China. They don't allow it. China has their own, they have their own social media platforms. They have their own everything. You can't even, if you're an American, you can't even own land in China. I would say America is much more lenient on China than China is with us. So for a president to say, yeah, if 170 million Americans use this app, we need to have some control over it, I'm unsure I have a real problem with that logic. But let me know what you guys think.
Definition of birthright citizenship, rebuild the border wall, send more troops to the border, and catch and release, and declare a federal emergency at the border. Only male and female to be federally recognized, colorblind merit-based hiring instead of DEI, end federal censorship for free speech, withdrawing from the World Health Organization, protecting women from radical gender ideologies, which I'm assuming has something to do with sports. He didn't list that for sure. Revoking the Green New Deal, no mandates for electric cars, no more wind farms, national energy emergency, putting astronauts on Mars, withdrawing from the Paris Climate Accord, and Alaska's energy release. He wants federal employees back in the office, an immediate hiring freeze while they, figure out all the things that are wrong in the federal government, except military and some other couple of areas, a hiring freeze with the IRS, implementing the Department of Government Efficiency Office, otherwise known as DOGE, no tax on tips, defeat inflation, tariffs, address the cost of living crisis with all federal agencies. And then he also mentioned something interesting. He started talking about the 88,000 IRS agents, but didn't finish his sentence. I don't know what he meant to say in that, but it had to do with the hiring freeze. So I'm assuming he was going to talk about firing them based on the conversation, but that is speculation from my side. He also rescinded 78 of Biden's executive orders. Now, I still have far more notes. That was just all of the notes that I have on his executive orders. So there is going to be a part 2, and I'll tell you all about those.
Let me know what you guys think of Donald Trump's executive orders. He had a lot of executive orders. Here's my thing. What Donald Trump showed his first day in office, and I've been saying this for a while. Donald Trump showed that presidents have a lot of power. A lot of power. A big criticism that I personally had with the Biden administration is that it felt as though Biden didn't really exercise his power, or they kind of gave them an excuse. That was a big criticism of Kamala Harris, saying, oh, the big trope was, what does Kamala Harris do? What do? They don't do anything. And I think that's a very fair statement, because as you just seen yesterday, whether or not you agree with Donald Trump's orders or don't, this is not what that's about. Donald Trump showed yesterday that presidents have power. They have real power. But with the Biden administration, they will just say, oh, we don't have power. We can't control the economy. That has nothing to do with us. We can't control anything. That has nothing to do with us. We can't control giving money overseas. That has nothing to do with us. We can't control that you can't afford groceries. That has nothing to do with us. And I've been saying, like, yes, it has a lot to do with you. You're the president. You're the vice president. You can do something about this. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about all of Donald Trump's executive orders. It was a lot of them. I'm going to end this right here. If you guys have any more news for me, reach out to me. Thank you, everyone who supported. My name is Jojo, and I'll see you guys on the next one.